Hello believers, welcome to the Just Praise Him radio program. I'm your host, Glynda Lomax, and I don't really have a title for my message today. I want to talk to you today about two things. One, the chip, which I think may be the mark of the beast. I say may because the Lord has not told me, and I don't want to just assume because it looks to me like it could be it. I don't want to assume that, but He did give me a vision of it on Friday. So on March the 30th, which I want to share with you today in this podcast. And I will let you draw your own conclusions. The second thing that I want to talk about is something the Lord showed me this morning, like the way in and the way out of what is coming. If that makes any sense, that's the way He put it to me, so I'm not sure. But okay, first, the chip vision. This vision came to me unbidden, like most visions do. And I don't know why He showed it to me, except for me to share it with you, because I don't know what other purpose it would have. It was very late on Friday, March 30th, 2018, and I was getting ready to turn out the lights and go to sleep. It was real late. I was talking to the Lord about end time stuff, and a vision just opened up. I saw people in a grocery store in the future, but this store did not have regular checkouts. There were no checkout people. People were paying with something in their hand, in their wrist. They were doing this in front of the scanner. They were doing like this in front of the scanner. And I saw in the spirit that they had all been chipped. I assume, but don't know for sure, that that was like an RFID chip. So I'm going to tell you what I saw that was going to be on these chips that are coming. All of your banking information and account balances will be stored on your chip. That's how they were paying. I saw that there was no alternative way to pay for the groceries. You either had a chip or you didn't shop. I did not see a single child in this vision. I saw only adults, which I find very interesting. And I have no idea why that is. The people were all very somber and very serious. Nobody was, you go into a grocery store now and you'll see people standing in the aisle and they'll be talking. Some of them, they'll be smiling or laughing. They'll be greeting each other. None of that was going on in this grocery store, y'all. None of it. There were adults and they walked around real serious like this. Just real serious, just getting their stuff. And then they went up there and they paid out, and that was it. And they all looked like that. So I didn't see any children at all. These chips have more on them than just payment information. I kept hearing whole person chips. I kept hearing that over and over, whole person chips. The government had touted them as helping to prevent terrorism and crimes against persons, and everyone except the Christians thought they were a great idea. These chips will contain all your medical history along with all the prescriptions you take and what you take them for. The chips will include all your mental health history, if you've ever been treated for any kind of mental health issues, your driving record, any arrest records, all your work history, all your data, period. Basically, everything about you. Not just anyone can access your chip to find out all your info, but law enforcement will have an override device. I saw it as an override device that overrides anybody's chip and releases all their data to them anytime they want. So instead of showing a driver's license when you get pulled over, they just scan your chip and they know everything about you. Your chip will also be your phone. And you will use it to call people and to receive messages and emails. I'm not sure how that works, but I saw that. I saw that women no longer needed to carry purses because everything's on that chip. I saw that chips made deciding court cases easier for judges, since each party's chip contained everything about them, as well as detailed information about their current activities. Your chip will include any religious affiliation. And there is something that they can do through these chips in the future that they use to kill Christians. In the vision, I saw there was not a single Christian that had the chip in this store. It may be because the chips are also used to locate people, so it would be easy to hunt you down and take you out if you're chipped. I saw Christians, this was a second vision that opened up. I saw this couple, a Christian couple, going up to this house they were going to rent from. They were going to rent another house from them, and they were turned down They were being denied housing because they were Christians. In another part of the vision, I saw a small group of Christians gathered in a wooded area with a campfire. It was during a mild weather season. It wasn't raining, it wasn't snow on the ground, anything like that. And they had a little campfire, and they were sharing. They only had a little food, and they were sharing what they had. And I saw them rejoicing in the Lord, knowing that the end was near and that they would be greatly rewarded for their sufferings. Okay. There's not anything I can say about that chip that's going to help you. It's coming, and there is nothing that anyone can do to stop it because it's part of the fulfillment of Scripture. I had seen before that the government will tout it as, oh, it's going to prevent terrorism. You know, we know who you are, then, you know, terrorists can't, you know, fool us and whatever. And I suspect, don't know for sure, but have suspected for a long time, that although there will be real terrorist attacks, I believe there will be some that are planned from inside our own country by our own people to cause people to want to take that chip, if y'all know what I mean. Kind of like a false flag attack, to cause people to say, oh yeah, give me the chip, we got to prevent this. But I can't figure out why there are no children in the vision. But there were no children in my famine vision either that I had in 2008. Okay. I can't really figure out everything about this second thing that the Lord showed me today. Okay, so this morning I was praying about the podcast, and I was pretty sure He wanted me to share the chip vision because He hadn't given me anything else. And He told me something else. He told me that in what is coming, that the way in, not the way in, the way out of what is coming is the wilderness. And for me to tell you to learn about the wilderness because you're going to need it then. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I think He means, and you may get more than this. You may get something else from Him on what He wants you to know, but it makes sense in one way because it is a pattern in the Bible. You know, when the Israelites were brought out of the land of bondage, Egypt, Pharaoh, all of that, the wilderness was between them and the promised land that He was trying to get them to. Okay, well, heaven is obviously our promised land. And obviously, the end of time, we're going to be ready to check out and go to heaven, I'm sure. No question about that. So, my suggestion is obviously learn all you can about the wilderness so that you can navigate along the way. Because apparently, the wilderness that we're going to go through is going to be similar to, you know, the general wilderness journey. He said, when this all happens, you will feel that your life has fallen apart. Okay, let's picture for a minute. Let's use America for an example. I'm American, I'm in America, so I use that for the most obvious example. Let's say that here in America, we've been hit with an attack, and let's say it has decimated our area. Let's say that you're in whatever city, and it's been hit, and it is just leveled. Okay? Obviously, if your life is in that city, everything about your life just fell apart. Probably your house is destroyed and everything else. Okay, so that makes sense to me. That makes sense. So you would feel that your life is falling apart. In the beginning of the wilderness, that's what it feels like. You're just like, my life is falling apart. I just want my life back. But He's actually trying to get you to something better. Okay, so after the dark beginning, you need to know how to navigate the rest of it. Christians will be hunted down and killed because of their beliefs, and I think, and will be forced to hide out in the wilderness or anything else and try to find food and shelter wherever you can, okay? And that's going to be from the time that this all goes down till the end. It's going to be like that. It is not going to get better while it's here. If anything, it will get worse. Because you have to remember, Satan's going to be loosed on the earth, and it's going to be a time of tribulation like no other, okay? So I'll explain something else that he showed me. Let me write it down so I don't forget what I'm going to tell you, because that's not in my notes. Now, the Lord has given us words like the wilderness houses where He's told us some of the ways that He's going to provide for His people in this time, okay? But the wilderness is a lot different than the way we're used to living, y'all. So I looked at some of the things that we go through in a basic wilderness journey. The loss of our comforts. Okay, when you're led into the wilderness, One of the first things God does is he strips away your comforts because he wants you to find your comfort in him. We experience the brook drying up. You know, we're used to being camped out by the brook. The ravens bring us the food. We drink from the brook and everything's hunky-dory, right? Betrayals. Lots of betrayals. The Lord has already told us there'll be a lot of betrayals. He told us in Matthew chapter 24 that family members will deliver up family members to be killed. That's pretty bad. Christians are going to be hated of all nations. All nations are going to hate Christians. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it's going to happen. He's already told us it's going to happen. So every country will hate us and want us dead. It could be that somehow some Christian has something to do with starting the last World War. I don't know. I'm guessing. I don't know. He didn't say that. Please don't go say I said that because I didn't say that. I'm guessing here with you. But Christians will be hated by all nations. Persecution on a massive scale, such as has never been seen before. I believe that I've seen more than once that persecuting Christians will basically become a national pastime. It'll almost be recreational. It will not only be accepted, it will be encouraged to hunt down Christians and kill them. That is what I've seen, and I've seen it several times already. I cannot make this up, y'all. It's too horrible to make up. Okay, you're going to have to know how to ask for provision and how to receive it and not doubt. That's very important, very important. You're not going to eat well if you don't. You're not going to eat at all. Fear. The Lord has already told us it's going to be a terrifying time. So you've got to know how to make fear submit and behave and not bother you. You've got to know how to be obedient in tough times. That is very hard. Because what we want to do when we're hurting is we want to grab onto familiar comforts. Usually a familiar comfort is a sin. Usually that's something we used to do in our old life. So keep that in mind. We are going to have to know how to hold on to Jesus with everything in us when things are not going our way. You know, maybe one of our family members gets one of the plagues and we're begging God not to let them die, and they die. We have to know how to hold on to our faith and say, okay, the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And just say, okay, that's not what I wanted to happen at all. I'm going to grieve, but, you know, I can't change that. Dealing with irritating people. I'm sure there will be irritating people on the earth then, just like there are now. These are just some of the areas of wilderness journeys that I think may be pertinent in what's coming, okay? I suggest that you familiarize yourself with what goes on in a wilderness journey. If you've not been through a lot of wildernesses where you can just, you know, kind of know, you need to learn these things so that you can equip yourself for what's coming. Because that is what he is saying we need to know. I don't really have anything else for y'all today. That's what he gave me. I believe that a lot of y'all have seen stuff about the chip or about the mark. And you're welcome to leave comments here of what you've seen and share with everyone else so we can all, you know, kind of put all the pieces together as best we can. And maybe the Lord will reveal more to us soon. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Jesus bless you. I hope y'all have a great week.